Greetings, salutations, Eddie here, and today is one of those days where setting up my lighting is tiring. Today I'm going to be bringing something I said I would never do again, but I'm going to do it, and I'm just done with saying final time, whatever. And today is my broken promise, hypocritical, where I contradict myself book haul. I don't know the proper word for that. Since there's a lot of them, I'm not going to tell you guys the plot. I'm just going to show you guys the cover and yada yada yada. And even though I said that my last book haul was going to be my last one, I decided, you know what, let me just do it. I didn't want to film my Shadow and Bone review today because I feel like I am going to do it soon. I'm going to watch it again and pick out some notes because I made you a spoiler review. And I was going to do a Mortal Kombat film review, but I'm going to push that off until I'm done with Shadow and Bone. So there's that. Anyways, sit back, relax, and grab some tea, grab some water, grab whatever, grab a friend, and let's get right into it. The first thing I do want to showcase is I got the Mortal Instruments coloring book. This is a adult coloring book. And it's not, and the reason why it's called adult is not because there's some, explicit pictures, but it's very detailed. Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Bolle. This is a YA crime thriller book, I think it is what it is. It's the jacket because my grandma's actually reading it. So when she gets done, I will have the book back and I will read it. And I mainly bought it for 3 reasons. 1, the plot sounded great. 2, it's a Reese Witherspoon pick. And 3, look at this. Look at this amazing cover. Courting Darkness by Robin Lefevers. I talked about this before. This is a continuation of the His Fair Assassins series, this one and Igniting Darkness. If It Bleeds by Stephen King. This is a collection of short stories, and it's actually the opening line. It says, in January of 2021, a small padded envelope addressed to Detective Ralph Anderson is delivered to the Conrads, the Andersons' next door neighbor. So 2021, and I want to know if this has any plague in the book. I'm just curious. I mean, I doubt it does, but I'm pretty sure Stephen King knew that 2020 and 2021 were going to be shit-ass years. Okay, so then, as you guys know, I got new covers of A Court of Thorns and Roses. So here's A Court of Thorns and Roses, the first one, by Sarah J. Maas. A Court of Mist and Fury, the second book. A Court of Wings and Ruin, and A Court of Silver Flames. This cover I can't stand. E. Latimer's Witches of Ash and Ruin. This is a Celtic mythology meets witchcraft, which just sounds amazing. Alexander Bracken's Lore. I started this. I could not get into it, but I am starting over because I was kind of pushing myself to read it in January. But I'm just gonna take my time with it because Alexander Bracken isn't my favorite, but this story sounded really good, and I just want to give her another chance. And I loved The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding. That book is amazing. It's right there. This beauty right here. And I did not like The Darkest Minds, as you guys know. But the writing is good. That's the problem. I just did not like the story of The Darkest Minds. But I'm hoping that if I start over with this one, I will love it. Furyborn by Clare Legrand. I feel like I hauled this before, but I'm not sure. So I'm hauling it again. On this series, I'm really excited to start. Skyward and Starsight, both by Brandon Sanderson. This is probably the highest, or the most popular, most hyped sci-fi series that I've seen, and I can probably tell why, because of Brandon Sanderson. You guys know I have no interest in reading the Mistborn trilogy or Mistborn world as of right now, but this one sounds like right up my alley. Confess by Colleen Hoover. This is my first Colleen Hoover novel that I read, and I actually really did enjoy it. This one I got yesterday. Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. I really hope I said her name right. This is a witch and witch hunter story, and I'm uber excited for this. This cover is awesome. That's not why I bought it. It's because it's witch and witch hunter. I've been into witch books recently, and I don't know why. And then the next 2 series are redesign covers. I already talked about them before. Shadow and Bone. So the next 2 series are redesign covers, and I already showed them before, but I'll just show it again. Here's the Grisha trilogy. So here's Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising. And this one is the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. Here is Daughter of Smoke and Bone, Days of Blood and Starlight, and Dreams of Gods and Monsters. Then I have Libera's The Diviners and Layer of Dreams. So this, I feel like I've read this before, but I don't remember. This is a supernatural historical. My first Libera book was Beauty Queens, and I actually really did enjoy that, contrary to popular belief. And I think I read Going Bovine. I heard amazing things about this series. I really want to get into it, and I want to get back into this sort of this like genre. The next couple books are going to be contemporary. This one I'm so excited. That is The Boyfriend Material, or just Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. And I don't even want to know the plot. I just saw these two, Boyfriend Material, LGBT. I'm good. That's all I really need to know. And then this one's another LGBTQ book, and that is The Music of What Happens. This one just sounds really cute. And also I read the blurb of this. Max, who's one of the leading characters, I'm already in love with him. Okay, then this one. I'm waiting for summer to read this one because I read contemporary books in summer. Charming as a Verb by Ben Felipe. I cannot wait to read this book. It just sounds really cute. I love this cover, and I'm just so excited. So then this one is Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater. This one is a continuation of the Raven Cycle, which follows the character Ronan, who I love. This one's the start of a new trilogy called the Dreamers Trilogy. The next one's called Mr. Impossible that comes out in May. And I'm really excited to start this series. On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. This one is Angie Thomas's, I think it's her second novel. But this one has a different vibe than The Hate You Give. This one is this girl's song goes viral for all the wrong reasons. And I'm really looking forward to it. Then this one, now that I have the final book, I'm really excited to start it. Immortal Reign by Morgan Rhodes. The final book of the Fallen Kingdom series. Now, I'm having a really bitter feeling right now because the spin-off series, A Book of Spirit and Thieves, was supposed to be a trilogy. However, sales weren't what they expected it to be. So therefore, the series was canceled after book 2 that ended on a cliffhanger, apparently. So, not reading that series, unfortunately, but I will be reading Fallen Kingdoms. I'm really excited to get into the series. I read Fallen Kingdoms and Rebel Spring. I think that's the second book. Yeah, and I did enjoy both of them. I just think that the whole that particular fantasy world was actually really interesting. Then I have These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is a historical book set in Shanghai, and it's a Romeo and Juliet inspired retelling. That's all I really need to know. I'm here for it. Then the last one of this section is The Four Winds by Kristin Hanna. This is a historical book centering around like depression, the Great Depression, and the Dust Bowl. I have not read a Kristin Hanna book. I know she's written a bunch of books, like The Nightingale, which is a book that I really want to read. Written all these books right here. So like she's written Read Alone, The Nightingale, Fly Away, Homefront, Night Road, Winter Garden, True Colors, Firefly Lane, Magic Hour, Comfort and Joy, The Things We Do for Love, Between Sisters, Distant Shores, Summer Island, Angel Falls, On Mystic Lake, Home Again, Waiting for the Moon, When Lightning Strikes, If You Believe, Once in Every Life, The Enchantment, and A Handful of Heaven, and now The Four Winds. Those are a lot of titles. The next two I'm really excited. That is Billy Boyle by James R. Ben and Macy Dobbs by Jacqueline Winspear. So I'm going to talk about this one. This one's a World War II mystery. It's actually the first one it's actually the first book in the Billy Boyle series. I cannot wait for this. Mainly because, one, the cover is awesome, and two, anything set in World War II I'm going to love. Same with this series. Both of these series, I think they're both on book 16 right now or something like that. They may be still going on, I'm not sure. I think this one has been optioned for a film or a television series. But I want to read it before the possible show or film comes out. And these two, I have no idea what they're about. I just saw the covers. I had to get them. Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody and King of Fools also by Manafuti. The first two in the Shadow Game series. Now, I don't know if this is a supernatural, fantasy, or sci-fi series. All I know is that on the back, it says, "Welcome to the City of Sin, where casino families reign, gangs infest the streets, and secrets hide in every shadow." Either way, I'm looking forward to it. In the next two, I do have to explain something real quick. So, I have The Wicked Will Rise and Yellow Brick War. Now, I did have Dorothy Must Die in hardcover years ago. I really enjoyed it. I actually really loved it. However, I let the book out to a friend of mine. I haven't seen that friend since. So I do not have Dorothy Must Die. But then I kind of parted away from Dorothy Must Die because I did not, when I first read The Wicked Will Rise, I was super disappointed in it. I don't know if it's because I had such high hopes for it. I think I suffered from like middle book syndrome. I'm not so sure. But I know I did not continue with the series. I want to, but I didn't. So, and after all that controversy about Danielle Page trolling 1-star reviews or whatever, I'm choosing to ignore that because Dorothy Must Die had a really creative storyline. I really did enjoy it. I really did love the writing style. And I'm gonna give the series a second chance. I'm hoping that my opinions of this have changed. Even if I don't like this book, it's really thin and it was like only like $6 at the store. I have this one, and then I will get The End of Oz, which is the 4th book. I just really love the world and the take on Oz and Dorothy. I don't know if I will read Stealing Snow or her Maritide Breaker. I'm not sure. This one is something I didn't expect myself to get, but I did. The Infinity Quartz by Akima Bowman. This is a sci-fi young adult book. I don't necessarily know what the plot is. All I know is that I saw this cover. I saw that it was sci-fi. I want to get into more sci-fi, so I bought it. This one is What Big Teeth by Rose Zabot. This is Addams Family meets werewolves. And that's all I'm going to say. It just sounds something that I would absolutely enjoy. Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. This is already... I don't even need to know the plot of this book. This is the first book of a series, and it got picked up for a film. All I just saw was this amazing title, this amazing color scheme, and this stunning girl on the cover. I know it's, graphic design, but still, she's stunning. Race to the Sun by Rebecca Rohnhorst. This is a middle grade Native American fantasy sort of book. It's a standalone. This cover is what really drew me in, to be honest with you. Ship the Dead by Rick Riordan. This is the final book in the Magnus Chase series. I know nothing about Norse mythology, which is why I have not started the series yet. But I will start it this year. Not sure when or how, but I will. Alright, so then this one is kind of a low-rated book. That is River Keep by Martin Stewart. This deals like sea monsters, looks like science and magic. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, I didn't even know the plot until after I got home because I just saw this cover and I'm like, I had to have it. And after I read the plot, I'm like, okay, this sounds like something I would kind of like. Hopefully, I will enjoy it more than most people did. This is My America by Kim Johnson. This is something that I will be finishing. I will start it and I will hopefully finish it, and I will do a review about this and share my thoughts about it. And then the next two, okay, I'm going to say this. I think I will like these books, but I don't like the show that they are being compared to. That is One of Us is Lying and One of Us is Next. It's being compared to that of like Pretty Little Liars, and I cannot stand Pretty Little Liars, but I love high school drama because it just makes me like feel better about my life when these teenagers' lives are like terrible. This is basically like Breakfast Club meets Pretty Little Liars, that kind of stuff. And then this one takes place 3 years after One of Us is Lying. This one's kind of a thick book. It's actually kind of surprising. So then the next series, I just got the new covers of the Ember and the Ashes series, which I did do a Let's React video, but I took it down because I didn't really like it. So here's an Ember and the Ashes, a Torch Against the Night. Here is a Reaper at the Gates, and here is Sky Beyond the Storm. Alright, then this one is Children of Virtue and Vengeance, Tomi Adeyemi. Now, I did talk about this before in my, what is it called? The anti-TBR tag. That I had no desire to read this series because I bought this book before I found out about the controversy that this author was involved in. Now that I have books 1 and 2, I don't know if I should just read it and just get it out of the way, or just not support this author anymore. I'm not sure. At least the covers are nice. Okay, here is Ink and Sigil by Kevin Hearn. This is, I'm seeing everywhere. I love this cover, and this is a Scottish supernatural story, and it's actually, it kind of caught me off guard when the main character, when everybody spoke with a Scottish dialect, and I forgot this was set in Scotland, which actually kind of helps immerse myself into the world, and I'm glad that he actually did research about the Scottish dialect to make these characters seem more real. I will read this when Paper and Blood comes out, just so that the duology is done and that I can just binge read it. Because I'm pretty sure this will end on a cliffhanger and I'm not ready for a cliffhanger. Alright, so then next is King of Scars and Rule of Wolves, both by Leigh Bardugo. This is set in the Grisha world, and I will be reading this in May. I'll finish Crooked Kingdom as soon as I can. But after I just watched all of Shadow and Bone and loved it, I don't know if I can wait to finish Crooked Kingdom before I just get into King of Scars, because the magic in Shadow and Bone, the visuals, is just outstanding. I loved it so much. So the show actually inspired me to read these books, and it did its job. And if you have not watched the show, please watch the show. It's actually the fastest Netflix series that I've watched since the first season of Stranger Things. And finally, we got to the last book. Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book of the Last Hours series. And people are saying that this book is slow and boring, but I cannot wait to actually delve into this book and back into this world. I'm taking a break after reading this long-ass trilogy. Want to get back into it. I'm gonna be so ecstatic. Alright, so that was my gigantic, long-ass, Broken Promise, hypocritical book haul. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and if you did, give it a big thumbs up, and comment down below your thoughts of any of these books that I mentioned today. Have you watched the Shadow and Bone series? Have you read the Grishaverse? Have you read this series? Have you read One of Us is Lying? You know, whatever. Just let me know. If more content, the subscribe button is right over there, and right next to it the notification bell. And I'll see everyone soon in my next video. Deuces.